What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there tonight?
Better be
Got a
doing
little
good.
bit. Yeah, good, good, good. We got a little bit. Oh, there she is. A little bit different of a lineup tonight. G3 is out in the woods. She is performing one of those pagan rituals she always talks about. So we are instead joined by the always pleasant company of Barely Growing. How are you tonight, Barely?
I'm super, super great and happy to be here. I don't know about always pleasant, but I guess we'll find out.
That's right. That's what we're here to do, right? Thank you. Thank you very much for subbing for G3 on short notice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
we
for
We
having me.
appreciate it.
definitely
Well,
appreciate it.
I love you
Especially with,
guys.
oh, we love you too. The feeling's more than mutual. Especially, with we know you've been very busy lately. Starting up like your own channel. I've been
Yeah,
seeing your name a lot.
we're glad you have
Yeah.
time for little people.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's ridiculous. You guys, this is the first podcast that I ever went on, ever. And so I'll always have time for you. Always.
We love
Oh,
you. Thanks for
I
coming
love
on.
you.
well,
Yeah,
that,
dude.
that feeling is mutual. Trust me. I've been really, really enjoying watching you, establish yourself out there, getting your videos made, and I mean, you're blowing up. I'm telling you, like you're gonna this. Get used to seeing this girl's face. I'm telling you right now, she's the next biggest cannabis influencer. It's I see it already happening. It's inevitable.
I don't know what to do like with my face or my hands when you guys start talking like this. Okay, so like I don't know what to do. Uh, thank you.
I think
So what,
if you
what's
ever,
going on? What do you got going on lately?
Fucking everything and its mother. So I think the last time that we talked, um, I was kind of like going down the commercial route, and even Monster and I, we talked on the sidelines about like you consulting for us and stuff, right? Does that sound
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I don't know too much about it, but I know that Oklahoma is going to put a cap on how many commercial growers that are going to be able to be out here, like within the next 12 days, sort of a thing.
It was the Wild Wild West for a while, and now they're finally starting to crack down, huh?
Yeah, they are. And that's okay. So I was like, that was a really new idea, especially just getting into growing. And now that I know, I think I know how to grow some weed now. Know how to grow and like have made all the connections with the people in our community and online. Like I don't know if I want to go commercial route. I'd really like to do like Mr. Canucks grow style and like just hang out with the people online and like stay within the community. I don't want to like get so caught up in commercial that like this can't be a thing anymore, you know? So if I can find a
Yeah.
way to produce income, then I would rather stay here with all of you guys.
hell yeah, no, that I
Yeah.
mean, that's that's the dream, really, isn't it?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
now, you mentioned Mr. Canuck, and he's obviously a big influence on
Yeah.
myself. I'm sure most everyone out there. He's probably one of the original like canna creators. He's been doing it a long time, and
Hmm.
his videos are really impressive. So we've all watched him many times, many many times. So
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
do the impression of Mr. Canuck and I make my voice sound just like this, it means nothing at all. I'm just doing some good natured ripping on a person that I really, really, really admire and respect a lot. Doesn't mean so. It's all grower love. All grower love. Now
I can't deal with it. I
he
never know.
he's great, man. Like so, one of the things I noticed, right? Like I was watching your YouTube intro, like your first video,
Hmm.
and wouldn't you know it, Mr. Canuck down there in the comments.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
uh, tell us, please. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing a little bit of like celebrity gossip here. I wanna know how this relation, not
Yeah,
barely is
I
a
get what you're
married
saying.
woman, but I want to know how online friendship started between you and him, and yeah, what's going on?
Well, we are friends, so it is coming out. I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm friends with this really cool person and like scream it out the mountaintops. But people have started like to notice comments back and forth. We've only been friends for a couple of months now, and I think like everybody else in our community, we all leave the encouraging comments and hope that he'll like pay attention to it because just like you, he was a huge influence on me. I started with his
Yeah,
YouTube videos, right? They're
yeah, yeah.
so clean and like well put together and like you can understand what he's saying and just like no mic riffraff, none of that. And I don't know, I guess he caught one of my comments and came over to my page and I guess he liked what he saw and we just really formed a friendship. Like it's been really cool. He's helped me a lot with like small things on YouTube, and he never gets tired of my questions. And there's a shit ton of them. He's been, I don't know, he's just really cool and humble and like really willing to help. And I think that I'm pretty all right to talk to, so I don't think it's too bad on his end.
No,
And
I mean, that's awesome. Like, that's really cool that he's a real dude, and he's
yeah,
trying to help like an up and coming content creator to
yeah,
find their way in the confusing territory of YouTube. Because I mean, we've all seen the intros to even his videos where he's like, you know, YouTube's been really cool to us lately as content creators, so
yeah.
please share this video, hit the like button, and when he does that, like, can you talk about that at all? Like, what can you do and not do as a person on YouTube? Like, are there rules? Or like, how do you navigate this if you really want people to see your face, hear your content? How does it work?
I'm not the YouTube guru, not yet anyhow, but from what I know is like he himself has battled that like we're gonna come and take down your content because you're running cannabis. And actually, I forgot verbatim what he called it, but there was a time period on YouTube where like they went hard after growers and were taking down content and basically shadow banning them on YouTube. And then I guess something happened. They realized how many people and views and like people in the cannabis industry are watching these videos and want this content, want to consume it, and I guess they opened it back up. You do have to put like this is not made for children on anything plant
Mhm.
related. You do it like as a safety net anyway, because if you don't, they are. And I don't know rules like how many times can you get kicked at before they take
Yeah,
your whole page. So far, so good.
I don't have a
no,
lot of
that's
content on
good.
YouTube personally, but every now and then I get an email from them, like for videos that I've posted previously, like, "Hey, we're age restricting your content." I'm like, "Okay."
Mhm.
I kind of feel like it's one of those things that's just better to do it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't end up on their radar as much. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'd assume, and then just consistency, right? Like I told myself when I made my first video, I was like, "Ah, one video a month," and then it's like, "Holy shit, this is kind of addicting." Like creating the videos and like trying to look for the mistakes to make it better, and like the feedback that you do get in the comments because I mean, like our community has been great. Just like, hey, I want to see this, or hey, like I can't really hear you here, or like, I'm like, yes, keep it coming because this is a one-man operation on this side of things right now, and it helps. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. I
Yeah,
mean, it's cool you get, like someone who's kind of been through it
yeah,
to kind
for
of
sure.
guide you a little bit and help you out. Um,
Yeah.
just have to believe he's, you know, got a little bit of a crush on you. That's gotta be it, right? Just a beautiful girl who knows how to grow. I mean, it's like every grower's dream, right? She's
I
married,
can't.
guys. She's married. She's happily married. But
Yeah, I am with a kid.
that's that's great. But just one so far? Just one?
Just We're one and done. We've got things to do, Cap.
I mean,
I
We
hear
got.
ya.
that is.
I got one. That's all I can handle.
Thank you. See, someone gets it.
Mm.
I don't know if
Tough
you've
as
seen
tough.
my latest photos, Barely Growing, but I've been really, really working out hard for you, and I've been using Gaia Green 444 as my post workout to make my body super sexy for you.
I'm fucking dead, dude. I was like, wow, you're growing photo beards?
And then I'm switching over to Gaia Green 284 in bloom. We are using a couple handfuls of earthworm castings, and we're just
Those
gonna
are
water
super
in.
important.
Again, Mr. Canuck, I love you, man. You are a huge inspiration, and I mean nothing. I mean nothing but grower love, man. Truly, truly.
He
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
He puts out some good content. He does. I enjoy his kind of like, especially in his early days. Like, dude was basically like a tent pirate, but growing out of his closet.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think
Speaking
it's
of
just
tent,
oops, sorry.
oh, I didn't mean to step
It's
on
just
you.
no, it's okay. It's just relatable content. I think that's why we all kind of, besides the quality of the content, it's relatable. He's growing in like bedrooms or physical closets. Like we all clung to that because that
Right.
was our options. So
and then he has
Amen.
yeah,
better production value than like 99% of the cannabis content out there.
right.
Like we
Yeah.
Yes.
talked about this before, Cap. Like people with their like flip phones with like potato quality videos.
It's
His
Yeah.
were
sad.
And what you
yeah.
trying to do? Say something personal here about my potato quality YouTube videos? You got a problem with
Nope,
that? You
your videos have been good. Your
don't
videos have
like
been
my
good.
If
potato garden?
I particularly enjoyed your Kiwaha challenge. That was very
Nice.
entertaining. I watched the whole thing. It was like 22 minutes. So
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna trim that up, and I got actually my first edited YouTube video coming. It's a whole other learning process, but yeah, it's gonna be the Great Kuyaha Showdown or challenge or battle, whatever you want to call it. Did you happen to see this, Barely? It was just
mm-mm,
like an IG live. So you know what Kuyaha is?
I don't. I thought you were
it's
saying
good
like hoo
shit.
ha ha.
Couple of bumps you
it's,
to the moon, right?
it's a new Mexican dish at the local restaurant. Uh, no, I'm playing. It's a wedding agent. It's like a really good, kind of trendy, I would say, saponin product that you can get from Build-A-Soil. The brand name version of this Kuyaha, kind of expensive, but it's advertised as being way better quality than like the competing brand X. So I wanted to find out for sure that it was in fact like way better to justify the price. So I bought like the brand X off Amazon, and I put it right up against the Build-A-Soil brand. I don't want to ruin spoiler alert, guys.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
to ruin it for you, the Build-A-Soil brand took home the bacon. Like it was a blowout.
Brand one
Blowout.
before the challenge even started, just based on the price. The other one was $40. The other one was whatever dollars less, but you had to use 8 times as much.
Yeah.
And even if they were equally effective at that cost, it still cost more money. People often just look at the cost of the product, but they don't realize the application rate that's required. And in this case, it still didn't matter how much you added, right? I mean, it didn't perform nearly as well as I was blown
Right.
away by that actually. Like when I already knew the results because we had talked about it prior, but just watching it, it it really surprised me, man. I kind of just assumed you can get a similar product elsewhere. Jeremy talks about what he sources and the quality of it, and fucking legit.
It's the truth. And I didn't want to believe it myself. Often I go on and on about conspiratorial minded sorts of things, like how my favorite organic growing product company is maybe potentially sourcing their stuff from Alibaba and then selling it to me for a markup. Like this is how my paranoid brain works. So I
Well, these
had to
days,
try it
dude,
out.
I mean, it's not common to get fucked by businesses. So
Exactly.
it's easy to, it's not uncommon, I should say, to get fucked by these businesses. So it's an easy mindset to stay in, man. You know.
And,
But yeah,
again, that's how I kind of I view us as sort of that like maybe a little bit of a watchdog role. Like I just want to keep everything hunky dory, as it were. I don't want to see anyone getting ripped off out there. But for what it's worth, guys, like if anyone's getting ripped off, it's people buying the Amazon brand Kiyaha. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
crazy. I didn't
Makes
expect it.
makes me wonder because I went out and bought that Amazon brand Frass. It's Armory listed. I got a really good deal on it. Certainly cheaper than the Build a Soil. But now I wonder. Maybe next time I come down, we'll have to do a Frass challenge.
Great Frass showdown. I know. So my YouTube video is gonna be funny. Like I got an idea, sort of like a boxing match, a heavyweight boxing match. There's gonna be like ding ding ding, and like in this corner we have J Plant Speakers Q Yaha, and in this corner, it's gonna be that sort of thing. Try to
What
make
is
it
everybody
entertaining.
smoking on tonight? We forgot about that, man. Shit.
Good point.
Smoking on
Good
Blue
point.
Dream. Blue
No shit.
Dreamin', baby.
I haven't had a
Uh,
good Blue Dream in ages. Where'd you cop that from?
you don't want to know. You don't want to
Okay.
know.
Okay. Okay. You can tell me after
Is
the
it
show.
is it
I don't want
ISPO
to.
weed? You can tell us
No,
if it's
no,
ISPO.
no. I'll tell you. It's actually ILGM, dudes.
That's all right.
Uh,
Oh shit. Well,
there's
so how do
just
you
so
like it?
much. So good. It's so good.
Yeah?
I don't know if you guys got to see her growing.
Oh,
I'm sure I
Uh,
did. I see most of your posts. It just, I don't know if
yeah,
it
yeah,
sticks
I
out.
got you. Yeah, it's fine. She was in a 3-gallon LST bag from Air Bottom Bags, and she yielded me 20 grams short of a half pound after trim, no larv.
Hell
Um,
nice.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's a solid fucking harvest. Good job.
And you're
Thank
you're
you.
like, I mean, it tastes good, smells good, looks good, you're
Yes,
happy.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, obviously it's very sativa dominant, so the first few
Yeah.
smokes, so I had to ease into her because I really am like indica or at least a hybrid leaning indica smoker. It just does better for me, but definitely had to ease in. I felt a little bit anxious smoking her at first, but now like after a few weeks in cure, I think probably like a solid month now. Super solid. Like it's a nice heady high, but like really uplifting and super
Yeah, yeah.
smooth and yeah,
That's
love
kind
it.
of what Blue Dream was known for, so maybe
Yeah.
it's legit.
Great.
Yeah, yeah, I
What,
love it.
what about you,
See,
Cap?
so I got well, before we go on real quick, because I
Yeah,
know
it
you
sounded like
like
you had something to add
barely
there.
barely was feeling ashamed of admitting that she was growing some ILGM, which because we rip on them a little bit, but at the end of the
Not just
day,
you. It's not just you
yeah,
guys.
listen, I just want people at the end of the day to grow good weed that they're happy with, to know what
Hmm.
they're getting, to like be able to read a strain description and know it is what it says it is. Um, I just don't feel like ILGM has like the best transparency when it comes to that, I guess, but that doesn't mean that if you have their beans that you shouldn't grow them because there's you know you are who knows what you'll find,
Right.
right? Life
I've
is
seen
Right.
like
fire. I've seen fire growing with their beans. Like my biggest gripe with them is like they sell a Gorilla Glue #4 auto flower, and
exactly,
like shit
exactly.
like that. Like so,
It,
like I just feel like that they're slightly taking advantage of people with maybe some of their strains. But I have seen plenty of fire
but
growing with
yeah,
them.
end
So
of the day, if I mean the plants speak for themselves,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like you might be just somewhat more likely to get something you're happy with if you pick a more craft, um, like a smaller batch breeder type situation. But again, doesn't mean it's going to be shit. So
Yeah.
I'm super happy That's awesome. You said you got half a pound? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
legit.
And
That's
three
what that's what's
gallons
solid.
of with gold leaf, mind you, just so we're
Uh-huh.
clear.
and that was an auto, right?
Shit, you probably would have got like
No,
2 pounds if you used
photo.
Athena.
Okay,
Well, let's so
okay.
now we had I just wanted to say too, like life is like a box of beans, or life is like a pack of beans from ILGM. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's so fucked up.
But it could be great. That's life, you know. That's life for you. Um, so tonight I'm smoking on some more of this Alebrije stuff, which I love. I'm loving it. Ba da ba ba ba.
Yeah,
This
man.
stuff is chemi, it's gassy, it's old school, and it gets me super fucking high. Which, end of the day, that's what I'm going for. You know,
Right.
I don't want to be kind of high. I want to be really, really high.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah,
Good
this
shit.
stuff does it, man. This stuff does
It
it
is.
for me. It's that it's that chem profile. I think that's the stuff I like. You know, when I smell that, I put my nose into a jar of some chem stuff. I'm just like, they're gonna
Yeah.
get me real good and stoned. So here, let me give it a little puff on the bong.
Cheers.
While
Yeah.
you, please, Monster, I want you to talk about it as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually smoking on the same thing. I'm really enjoying it. For those who don't know, I took a trip down to go see the captain this weekend, and we had a blast. Lots of dope smoking, lots of good food, couple of sex parties, but that's not for this
Nice.
show. No, no,
Don't talk
honestly,
about don't talk about the
I'm
Puerto Rican hookers, please. No, 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 no. My wife
he,
can't know.
Is
he's
is she
kidding.
listening?
He's kidding. They were Dominican. Um, no,
His mistake.
yeah,
His mistake.
the Alebrije, that shit's fire, man. I'm enjoying it. It's got a nice structure. It's kind of unique. I don't think I've tasted anything like it because I get like a chemi taste to it, but also like maybe like a rotten fruit. It's kind of hard to describe. Enjoyable though, very much
For
so.
sure. So
And I'm
the
sad
one
because I only have like another bowl pack of it left.
ah I'm sorry, I should have given you a couple more nugs, man.
No, that's all right.
But so the one you're smoking on is called it's Blue Zeroso.
Blue Zeroso. Okay.
Yeah, which is the one that I had just recently pulled out of the drying tent. And it's super fresh, and it does have a little bit more of like a fruity candy kind of chem to it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's enjoyable.
it's
That's for
really
sure.
nice, man. It's
So
actually
good job. Good job, Alebrije.
nice. He's gonna love that shout out, man. It means a lot coming from the monster, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, it's a great strain. Guys, you gotta check out Alebrije. But while we're speaking of some chem candy type profiles and all this stuff, I wanted to I got a mail call. I got some fire in the mailbox from Mr. Daz himself. He did a seed drop the other day, and he released a couple reg strains, some like reg autoflowers, with the intent of like getting some breeding gear into the hands of people out there that want to start their own autoflower company or just pollen chuck a little bit, make their own crosses. By having a male autoflower in the breeding, you're not reversing a female to make pollen. So the crosses you make are inherently going to be more stable, less prone to herms, I guess, is I would think. Again, I am not a breeder and I've never done breeding work, but at least that's how I understand it. So yeah, can we? I know Mad Hatter can hear us. Can you bring up that image then for the audience to see that? There you go. That is. I don't know if Barely and Monster can see that now as well.
See it?
Nice, cool. So this is what I got in the mail, and it's the front of the package.
This
I
is
just
super
thought
cool.
I thought it was, yeah,
Yeah,
really,
what
really
the hell?
interesting to see kind of. He gives you the Punnett squares. Remember the genetic squares that like you have in eighth grade biology class where you're talking about like recessive genes and dominant genes and which like how one will express itself in a phenotype. Now this is what he gives you on the pack because again they are reg autoflowers, and at least as the way I look at it, like you should not buy these unless you have an intention of doing some breeding work. They're more expensive than the other seeds were. I mean, I think they weren't more expensive. Same pack, but same cost for a pack. It just came with 3 seeds in it, as opposed to like he gives you a few extra with the Fems. They were exclusive. Like no auto breeders do this, guys. This is like a one in like 3 years that this has happened. I think the last major breeder who released some regs of their gear was Gnome Automatics. And a lot of people were using his stuff as their males to do crosses with. Now you're going to see a lot of stuff with this new Night Owl gear, which again super cool because he he wants you to make your own. He wants you to take your. That's how he makes his bones, like that,
That's the work. That's the hard work.
that's the work exactly. Like and don't get me wrong, I enjoy growing auto crosses. That's just a couple like autos slammed together and see what we're going to get. You can get a lot of good stuff from that. But to advance the genetic
Cool.
pool, yeah, like to add to the gene pool to make it autoflowers better and better and better, what you're going to want to do is
I
to
lost
cross.
you guys.
Oh, are you here, Barely? Are you here? I'll just keep going. So what you're going to want to do is cross photoperiod genetics into those autoflower genetics.
Mhm.
That's going to, it prevents bottlenecking, new terp expressions, keeps things new, interesting, and all that stuff. Like he knows that, and he's releasing these with that intention. So that is why he puts this information on the pack.
Super cool.
Isn't that awesome?
It really is. It's really cool. Like the the fact that he's like basically showing you how to do it. It's right there, right for you.
Right there.
Um, so yeah,
It
I do
takes.
know of one other autoflower breeder. Most people have probably never heard of him. His name is Afterthought Autos. Um, I've grown a few of his stuff way back in the day. I know Baz has some some pretty good stuff, but yeah, you can get reg autoflowers from him as well. If it's something you're interested in. Just giving him a
Yeah,
shout.
yeah.
He's a good dude out of New Mexico.
Nice. There she is. There she is. Nice. I mean,
No,
you can
no.
find reg autos,
I don't
man.
know
Like
these
you
guys.
can. She's back. She's back.
But
You can
but
find
dude,
reg autos. It's
but
just like, yeah,
Daz
you can't
is
find
you
night
ain't
owl
gonna
Shit.
find
ones.
Daz reg autos. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh gosh, we're losing her. She's coming back.
Damn Oklahoma internet.
I know it's exactly. Well, I hope she comes back. But yeah. So I real quick wanted to kind of run down what this means, the information on this pack. Like, if you were gonna take your favorite photo period and turn it into an auto, how we're gonna go about doing that based on these squares. So what this tells me is that it takes 3 generations, 3 from the original auto photo to auto cross to make a stable, sellable, predictable new autoflower variety. So like you start off with your original cross, and that's the set of squares on the left. The original photo period crossed with your auto. It says the F1 is going to be 100% photo period. 100% photo period. So the now I'm getting distracted. I know she's coming in, going out, coming in, going out. The original cross, 100% photo period. Now, there's gonna be, you can see in there the recessive gene of the autoflowering trait is in there though. You just gotta it takes another generation for that to express itself. So you take, like, let's say you take two of the earlier flowering phenotypes that you find from that original cross. You breed those two together. That's going to be your middle set of squares, right? It says then from those offspring that the F2
All right.
will provide both photoperiod and autoflowering varieties.
Dude, I would love to try the F2s. Seriously,
Now-
like that would be fucking wild.
Doesn't that sounds like where the real action is? I mean, really,
Yeah.
that middle set of squares sounds like we're going to go back and talk about it, right? But so then the third set of squares, you take, the F2, you pick your favorite auto flowering, right? Because ding, 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 that's going to be the generation where you can actually find 25% of the plants in that generation are going to be auto flowering. I mean, give or take a few. That's just genetic variability for you. But like, you take then a male and a female from that 25%, that's all auto flowering, hit those together, and then you get the set of boxes on the right, which is 100% auto flowering from your original photo period. But again,
Go ahead.
let's go back and talk about that middle set of squares. What do you notice about it?
It's kind of hard to see from here, and I'm
Yeah, I mean, but, like,
I'm taking a lot of bong hits.
No, I don't mean like what do you read in the square. I just mean like
I see
Think
four
about-
squares.
think about doing the work of the breeding. Like what would you think? Like why did you say like, oh, the F2, I would really want to grow those? Why?
The reason I said that is what popped in my head was some of them being autoflower, some of them being photo period, and the chance to grow them both out and compare the two. Like
right?
this, that's fascinating to me for some reason.
So-
I mean,
So yeah, exactly. You would, in that generation, you'd get a handful of plants. A quarter of your plants are going to be those auto flowering ones. Those are actually the ones that, like, if you're making an auto flower, that you breed with then.
Mm.
So like the selection is being done for you almost at that phase, right?
yeah.
Or at least
Just
a
to be able
little
to
bit.
Smoke the, like dry and cure and smoke the two differences and compare them, I think would be fucking fascinating. And I'd love to have them
I
both
agree.
tested at the same facility, so you know you're going to get consistent results, and see how like one compares to the other, terpene profiles, THC, CBN. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I often think of autoflowers as more medicinal than photo periods, and then there's one reason. It's usually autos have a higher CBN count, and I find that CBN is very beneficial, medicinally.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, there's so much variety in that F2 generation. I would imagine like that's where the real fun stuff comes out. But like, if you want to breed some real good shit, you got to pop a lot of beans that generation, I would guess. Because let's say you pop 100, only 25 of them are going to be that like pool that you're selecting from, and then you got to pick two, a male and a female.
Mhm.
So it just really got my mind going, thinking about what breeding autos is like and what you got to do and the logistics of it and all that stuff. I think this is super fucking cool, and I give Daz a lot of props for doing this. Really, really awesome in my mind. So,
100%,
hey,
man.
Bailey's back. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
It's all right. I know shit happens, so no
Let me
worries.
guess, the guy running the internet in Oklahoma drank too much moonshine.
Probably got fucked up and kicked me out.
They're saying in the chat it's
It's-
someone from ILGM
I saw that.
trying to scramble the feed.
Scramble it.
No. But
Huh.
so, yeah, what do you? I mean, did you hear any of what we were talking about at all? Barely. Like, do you?
I mean, I just saw that this is the first time I'm seeing it that Daz is putting this out to open up breeding. I think that's so
Mm-hmm.
fucking cool. That is so anti-gatekeeping of the cannabis community, and I applaud
Right?
him for that. I fucking love that. That's very cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a real bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, just that chart alone on the front of the seed pack is valuable because there are
Hmm.
so many breeders or wannabe breeders, and I don't mean like you're a wannabe. I mean like you want to be a breeder, and you really don't even know how. And he's pretty much like showing you. You want to make an auto. This is how you do it. I mean,
Right.
and that's just obviously there's a lot more to it, but like he's laying it out right there for you. You can continue to do your own research and you know move forward.
Totally. Totally. I mean, there's not a lot of breeders that would do that,
Oh
honestly.
no.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think.
lose you guys again.
Oh, it's all right. Hang on as long as you can. Hang
I love you
on.
all.
Hang on.
I wonder if she can like foresee that it's about to drop. It must be like I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got each other, Monster. That's
Dude, we
always
always got each other. That's how we started, motherfucker. And we got Mad Hatter on the ones and twos this time.
that's
Shout
right.
out to Mad
That's right.
Hatter.
Shout out to Jeff out there on the back end. We appreciate it. Um, but yeah, so again, you came and visited me over the weekend. We hung out. It was a blast. I got to smoke some of Monster's homegrown, some of that pure
Yeah.
Michigan. It was
Mm-hmm.
very good, very good. I got to smoke that famous, what was it, the
Cindy
Cindy
99
99 headband crossed with
headband.
peanut butter breath.
Take a shot.
That was my favorite of the bunch, I have to say.
Yeah,
That one
dude,
was
I wish you could have
delicious.
got that fresh, like some of their, like top colas. All I had was, it's been a while since harvest. So all I had was basically popcorn nugs, but it still smoked good. It is. And you can really feel the headband effect. It like kind of like, I don't know, wraps around. I remember telling you, I'm like, all right, you really want to get stoned? This is the shit to smoke right here.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it definitely like scrambles your brain a little bit. You like
Yeah,
it's tough to like form thoughts after you smoke that stuff.
it is. Nothing against the Pure Michigan. That shit's fire too. But
Yeah.
it wasn't quite like dried, so it didn't have that like full terpene profile that I'm looking for. But it's getting better every day. We'll slowly but
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And now wait, are we still up on the I don't know if what is being shown live to the audience right now, Mad Hatter? Is it the is it
M
us?
Candy.
Is it the Chem Candy? All right, good. I don't know. Mine's lagging for some reason, but good. As long as you can see us, because we are no longer talking about Chem Candy. But yeah. So the Pure Michigan dude was fantastic. It just didn't have like maybe it was compared to some of the other stuff, but I don't think it had quite as strong of a terp profile. It had a rather odd terp profile too, just kind of like a little bit like meat.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like meat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Well, it makes sense with the lineage.
that's exactly right. Like it's Oreos crossed with meat breath is pure Michigan, and I really could taste like this irony, almost like liverwurst or like some weird kind of lunch meat like bologna or something, man. It was bizarre. And the only other strain I've gotten that with was that creme de la creme.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a meat terp. And if I'm not mistaken, the pure Michigan is known for having like super high levels of THC, right?
Yeah.
At least for you know compared to other strains, it can clock in around like 29, 30, 31% sometimes.
That's what I've seen. Yeah.
Now, I'm just speculating again because I'm not a breeder, but like I have to believe that if you max out on the THC, you're taking a little bit away from the terpenes when you're
We talked about this.
right.
There's only so much to go around. Like, you know what I mean? So Um, not it's hard to like compare it like to other things, but like oftentimes I've compared it to like driving a car. Okay, if you're taking a corner at a certain speed, there's only so much grip you're going to get on those tires. It's either going to go one way or the other. You're either going to get the turn or you're going to get the speed and be able to make it. But the Pure Michigan itself, even though it has a higher THC, doesn't get me as high as the Cindy 99 headband crossed with peanut butter breath. So like
Agreed.
I hate it when I see people just often shoot for the high THC weed. It's there's way more to it, guys. It's not just THC. Like I told you, I smoked some shit at 13% legit, and that was his max because the breeder said that it was listed at 13% THC, and this was grown rather mediocrely. And I smoked a joint of it with a friend of mine, and it just something about it just really twisted my brain. It felt good, got me high. So there's a lot to it, way more than it's an entourage effect of all the
Yeah,
cannabinoids that we have no idea about. We know about like a half dozen cannabinoids, and there's like way more that we really have not done enough research on. That's one thing that will be good when federal legalization comes is more research on those other cannabinoids. But yeah,
truth, man. No, I agree. 100%. And like, I feel like that's another kind of effect of the legalization and the legal market taking hold is people are very conscious of what level of THC their weed tests at right now, and that is something that people breed for explicitly, like because weed don't sell if it's not over 20% THC anymore. It's going to sit on the fucking shelf.
Yeah, the highest THC is always what's going to fly off the shelves at dispensaries. It's just the way it is. Just the way
But
it
yeah, I
is.
mean, people
That won't
aren't going
change
to get.
anytime soon.
I don't think it will either. It's just an effect of the legal market and the fact that weed is, I guess it's mandated that people get their stuff tested now, right? And it has to be like on the label, like almost like nutritional information when you buy your product and your flashy Mylar packs at your dispo. Got to tell you exactly what it gets tested at. And like, again, we've speculated that testing facilities are kind of bunk. And who knows who they're owned by anyway? Like maybe Burner owns his own testing facilities and he just can call him up and be like, yo, what up, dog? Yo, I want this weed testing at 30%, y'all. So it's like, who the fuck knows how this stuff works? All I'm saying is that, like, I remember weed getting you way more fucked up back in the days when, like, you just tasted it and you knew. You smelled it, you tasted it, you tried it. And that's how people did their breeding selections. That's how people, knew what was good and what wasn't, man. It was just like you have to smoke it and find out. There ain't no testing facility that's going to give you a numerical value. You just gotta light one up and see what the fuck happens. So I think we've lost a little something, just a little
You're
that magic.
You're 100% right, man. It's just like zombie-less THC number chasing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, like I think people might misunderstand this. The Pure Michigan is fucking fire.
Again, yeah, it was.
Gets me high as shit, but like for me, the better buzz is the Cindy 99 headband crossed with peanut butter breath. Even though I know all day long that probably tests a lower THC.
I'm sure it did.
But the terps are just fucking fun. Even that shit, dude. That was like 6-month-old like stale weed, basically, and it still like tasted good and
I know.
As ripped. So
yeah, he handed it to me, and this was like this little Tupperware container, and he's like, "Yeah, this stuff I've had for a couple months. I don't know how good it is. It's not fresh anymore." And these little dense little nugs. And I opened the lid, took one look at it. And I was just like, "Damn! Oh, this. If you're telling me this isn't fresh, I would have loved to see it when it was, because it just had that it had a really Gorilla Glue kind of smell to it.
Yeah, it did. It did. It somehow those terps are definitely in there.
I don't know
I agree.
how. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
But
was enjoyable nonetheless.
yep. Yep. I
And
just that's kind of the point was not to, say like Pure Michigan isn't amazing because I enjoyed it immensely, but like it just led into the discussion of
yeah,
terps over
ironically,
THC.
both the same breeder and seed company, Jat over at Brothers and Farms.
Shout out to Biff. Always, always, always. So yeah, we got some people in the chat saying like so sky high raises a good point that everyone's body chemistry reacts different to cannabinoids as well. Great point.
1,000%.
Great
1,000%.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's body's different. Everybody has different preferences. Different strokes for different folks, guys. Same way as your growing style.
Yeah, like
Like
the
Blue Dream, like fucking Blue Dream. Everybody shits on Blue Dream. I wouldn't mind a big fat sack of Blue Dream right now. I haven't had it in ages, and just the problem with it, and I think why I got shit on so much is because it's a super high yielding strain, so it was grown everywhere, and everybody just kind of got sick of it because the market got flooded with it, and it was like it turned into a fucking meme, basically Blue Dream. But don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you ever have the chance to grab some real Blue Dream and you've never tried it, fucking do it. You'll like it. It's good shit. So yeah.
for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, shout out to Biff. Always doing good work. Whew, bong rip was nice. All right.
It looks like we've permanently lost BG, but that's all right. She's
Yeah,
here
I
in
know.
spirit.
I'm sorry. Sorry, BG. We still love you. Sometimes bad internet happens.
She said
apologize.
she's watching. So
Cool. What's up? We hope you're still out there, Barely. Thank you for listening to us on Cultivation Conversation.
And somebody had mentioned my mic sounded like it was mute, like muffled or something. So let me know if it. How do I sound?
I'll be honest. The connection is not great tonight. You're kind of clipping a little bit.
No shit. Not
I
sure
don't know.
why.
Sounds a little potato quality. Not gonna lie. But
Interesting.
we're gonna roll with it, guys. We're gonna
yeah.
roll with it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, thank you all for joining in tonight, guys, and coming in on the Twitch. The Twitch. We got. I don't know how many people joining in live, but the chat's buzzing. So you guys got to get a Twitch account. Head on over there. You can get in on the live show, and you can be a troll in the chat room. You can rip us live and make fun of what we're talking about as we do it.
Talk shit. That's It's
That's
all fun and games.
It's all grower love. All grower love.
What do you got going on in the garden?
We got 25 people lives. That's what I'm told. Cool. That's great. Awesome, guys. So in the garden, I just did a transplant. I did my, dual stacked solo cup method, transplanted a few autos into their forever home. Y'all want to see this method? Please check out my YouTube channel. It is my personal one, Captain Autoflower. Just made a little 10-minute video showing how I do it.
It's a great method. I personally won't transplant autos just for convenience, but if I were, that'd be the way to do it. I endorse that method 100%. That's fucking the way to do it because you're not stressing anything out that way. 100%.
100%, man.
Yeah.
For sure. And now I even said it, I think, at the beginning of the video. As your attorney, I do not advise you start your autoflowers in solo cups. However, if you do, and there are times when you're going to want to, I mean, it's good to conserve space sometimes.
Exactly. That's why you do it, to kind of have more space. That way you could get more plants going and have a perpetual harvest.
That's right. As a tent pirate, as a homegrown tent pirate, I even got my night owl, you know, almost like a pirate flag sort of effect. But yeah, as a tent pirate, I do not have all the space in the world. So oftentimes it benefits me greatly to get like a few, even like a 2 week head start on your next crop can really help you keep your jars
Oh,
full.
fuck
Um,
yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you if you
Seriously.
can? So
Yeah.
and because I use 5 gallon pots that like those take up a bit of real estate on your in your tent, you know. So if I'm finishing out my the crop I'm growing at the time, and then I want to start a few autos a few weeks in advance, I always have this option, and it can save you. I mean, even if you have zero tent space, they do sell these things now that'll like clip on your tent pole and hold a solo cup off the floor of your tent, which they
How
do
much they
sell
sell those things
on.
for?
I think they sell them on biffbeans.com, just saying. But I've seen them for like $30. They're 3D printed products. You know, there's
Nice.
a lot of cats making them out there.
Yeah.
Really cool product. And I don't have that personally, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. Because yeah, it's tough when you don't have enough space to begin with. You're trying to put your solo cups in between the other pots and find that little spot where there's some light coming through the canopy. It can be a pain in the butt, but the point being, you can transplant autos, guys. You really can. It just takes a little bit of like some standard operating procedures, a little bit of know-how, and like kind of a plan. So if you want to see what that plan is, go check out the YouTube, guys. Please, please. Drop a like. Smash that like button, guys, please. And follow, like, and subscribe. And all right, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop. My wife's gonna kill me, dude. She's been hearing me do this Mr. Canuck impression all day, all
Shout out to the
day.
captain's wife. She was very welcoming to me. You guys are great. I really did. I had a blast down there, and unfortunately, I had to leave. I left basically at 9 p.m., drove 5 hours straight, got home little before 3 with traffic and everything. So, yeah, but it was worth it. It was worth it. We had a good time. And that fucking that beer we were drinking, that shit was legit.
Yeah, yeah. So that was like it wasn't even really beer. That was that like
I know.
smoothie stuff I gave you.
Yeah.
That
Ah,
like
man,
liquid
I would
crack,
in
man.
in a million years I would never have thought I would have drank something like that. It's like totally girly, bougie shit, but it just tastes so good. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Dude,
says. It tastes good.
li-
I mean, yeah, and we were
liquid
drinking some
crack.
the other microbrews and shit you were bringing out were bomb, but that stuff just stood out, of course, because I've never tried anything like it.
Very unique. It's like a local brewery does like it's a sour that's just it's like overly fruited. Okay, they brew it with like a shit ton of real fruit, and it comes out in the final product is like almost like a melted milkshake, like a melted smoothie,
Hmm.
but it's got booze in it, and it tastes like a melted smoothie. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
it's good stuff, man. I'm glad you
yeah,
liked it.
yeah.
We
And
ate
I
some
see
killer
some.
food too.
Yeah, we first night there we got some pizza, had some just regular thin crust and some Sicilian. Came out good. Everything was bomb. And that little diner around the corner from your house, that was awesome. And then
For sure, dude.
we finished it off with just a typical little sub shop. It was good. I had a burger. Yeah, no, everything's good. I enjoyed your cats. You know, the one in particular, Casper.
Yeah,
That cat's
Casper.
dude, he's the fucking man. He's an animal. He's just running around the whole time. When I went to bed Saturday night, because we stayed up late till like 2 something in the morning Saturday night, just chiefing down joints. I just kept fucking packing cones. And but yeah, before I knew it was like 2 something. Anyway, I tried to go to bed and all of a sudden he's like ramming around the room. The door was closed. I'm sorry. I let him out. But yeah,
Yeah,
he was
man.
cool, man. He was cool. You could just scoop him right up and freaking pet him he was like a dog almost, basically, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically a dog. He's my little cat dog, man.
Yeah, and
He's
he's
cool
like
as
2
shit.
pounds.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
a little pipsqueak, man. A little pipsqueak, but
yeah, and I turned you into a believer on the cones. That's the
yeah,
highlight of the
for
trip.
sure.
Yeah.
I actually bought a box of 250 downstairs. I packed up two of them already today, so I've been enjoying them. Cones. I mean, listen, we all know I have. I'm coming to terms with the fact that I cannot roll joints, guys. I'm ashamed to admit it, but really, it's just part of who I am.
Okay.
I'm
That's okay.
sorry.
The fact that you
So
can admit it makes you a bigger man.
I know. So cones are gonna be best it gets. At least, you know, there's something to be said, like a really relaxing aspect of just laying back, smoking a joint. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll always enjoy a bong, but
It's like I said, 99% of the
like in the
time when
cones
I'm at
too.
the house, it's the bong. But like, when I'm out and about or just every now and then, even at home, nothing like a good bone. I see in the comments we got a lot of people asking for some type of a grow along. It's something we have talked about. We just been real busy guys trying to like expand the show. And then this weekend, we took some personal time to have some fun. Most people aren't aware. Me and the captain have never physically met each other before until this
Oh my
Saturday.
God. Oh my God. You told the truth which must not be spoken. That it's, I know it
um,
may surprise many of you, honestly.
yeah, yeah, that's
But
the magic, man.
the truth of the matter is that this weekend was our first time meeting in IRL.
Hmm. Yeah, and
So it was
it was a
it
good
was
time.
great, man. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah, I mean, that's the magic of the community, guys, really. Like, listen, we met over Instagram. We appreciated one another's grows and we started like picking each other's brains about what you got going on, how you doing this, how you doing that. Um I'll admit me picking your brain a lot more so than the opposite, but still it's that's how we got to know one another, and it all grew from there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um I know,
About
and
2 years
it's
ago, we really started talking. I'd say.
people's brains are exploding out there.
I know.
Like, wait, they're not like buddies going back to high school. Wait, you mean to tell me that Captain and Monster? Yeah, guys. I mean,
We're brothers from another mother. We are very like-minded people. And we actually got to know each other a lot better, meeting in person. So we kind of discovered why we do get along so well. We're very like-minded. We have the same goals in life, and
for
we're
sure,
good people. So yeah, it
for
was
sure.
fun. I can't wait to come down again.
I can't wait myself, man. And honestly, I can't wait until we are able to expand the show to the point where, like, not only can we meet one another and hang out, chief joints to 2:30 in the morning, but we can do that with all of you guys out there too. That would be the real payoff for me
Yeah,
personally,
yeah.
would be to meet each and every one of you that spends time listening to us ramble about what we got going on and what we're smoking on. You hear me talking about my meat hooks and my difficulties growing and all my successes. We love you guys. We appreciate it, and we wish you could have joined us. Is all I'm saying.
Or maybe a meetup or whatever, some sort of event. I know we can. I know we can
Absolutely.
make something like that happen.
Oh, it'd be so badass. I mean, honestly, so badass.
I enjoy
So
meeting people in the community.
yeah,
It and it happens all the time because like people hit me up and I end up doing work for them. Like before I came to see you, I did a job for Master Yoda, who just happened to win the beans. I was like, I'll fucking hand deliver them. He's like, sweet. So
Right. He
got
he won the beans and he won a meeting with Monster? Wait, that was a
yeah.
secret prize?
No, I got to do a job for him. I installed an air
Nice.
conditioner. Yeah, good kid. Met his family, met his dogs. He's got some Italian breed. I forget what it's called, Italian Spinoso or something like that. Super cool dogs, laid back, chill. Their temperament actually reminded me a lot of Zelda. But yeah, so
Cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about yourself, man. How are your cherry smashes doing? What
So the cherry
what's
smash
up?
was just flipped into flower a couple of days ago, and I think I got like 12 of them in one room under 2400 watts of HLG R spec power, nice lights. And then
Yeah,
I
American
actually
made.
America, and I have I'm actually going to be supplementing this round. I feel like I could actually push them a little bit more with a little bit more lighting. So I had some CMHs in that room. I haven't been happy with them. I've noticed that I have them as high as they can go, but I noticed that under directly under their light, the plants were getting a little bit burnt. So I ditched
Oh.
the CMHs, got rid of them, replacing them with LEDs.
What do you think? It was just pushing a little bit too much PPFD and like a certain hot
I
spot?
just think it's a hot spot. The CMHs, you get hot spots still. So they don't distribute the light that well, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So I
true.
actually shout out to Bloom Plus. They actually sent me a shitload of their 250-watt panels. So I'm gonna throw in a couple of them in there and see how they run. I run one of them right now in my small veg area. They're a decent amount. Like I said, they're all the fucking same. Like
It's-
I keep saying it. Like this is an endorsement for Bloom Plus. Like I hate Vivo Sun. They basically make the same light. It's just
I
they're
was
all the
gonna
fucking
say it
same.
if you
Um,
didn't. They
yeah,
all
no.
made it the same factory. They just slap a
Uh,
different brand on it and ship it off to you. It's
and there
like,
are some that
for
are
real.
better than others. 100%. There are some that are better than others. But for all intents and purposes, they're all using Samsung 301 diodes. The
Hmm.
biggest difference you'll see is in the driver and the which basically determines your efficiency. Okay, and at the end of the day, a couple of percent difference with an inferior driver, especially on smaller fixtures, does not bother me in the least bit. And I think the 250-watt panels are like $160 on eBay for the. How are you gonna beat that? That's less than a
Yeah,
dollar a watt, And
if it
one thing I
works,
really
it
like.
works.
Yeah, one thing I really like about them, and I've noticed is actually it's a it's a trend happening with all these fixtures. The drivers come with really long cords, and they're easily removable. So the driver comes right off with a screwdriver, and then you just take the driver and remotely mount it out of your tent or wherever. And because you know me, I like to do that. I like to take the
Yeah,
drivers off.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I mean, that's just one of the ways you can control heat. You're able to. That's one of the biggest issues. People putting their lights in the tent is the heat that
yeah,
the drivers give off. It's a
the
huge deal.
boards still get hot. Don't get me wrong. Like you can't really. I mean, but it helps. That's all. And the drivers themselves are hot, so you don't want that extra heat on top of the diodes. You know, The- so help
For sure.
your light run a little cooler, a little bit more efficiently. Hopefully, extend the longevity.
Agreed. Um, that's maybe I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat could give me like a heads up on where we're at time wise. But I want
We've
to
been
talk
going
about
about an hour.
an hour. Yes, kind of what it felt like. But so let's talk more about like controlling your environment on a budget.
Sure.
Like one of the simplest things you can do to control your environment, help your VPD. Really, that's what you're aiming to do is hit those those green boxes in your VPD chart.
Hmm.
We're maybe just give you like a quick 101. It's VPD, stands for vapor pressure deficit. It is essentially a measure of like how much the atmosphere is allowing your plants to transpire. The environmental conditions your plants are in determine
That's
how.
very good basic description, actually.
Yeah, as simple as it gets, man. Like, and it's that is a combination of temperature and humidity that will affect how much water your plant's able to uptake from the medium, and along with that, nutrients, all of the things that a plant craves. So,
Not
um,
Brano?
not Brondo, not Brondo.
Okay.
Although they do crave that, I don't think most people have it in their medium. Is all I'm saying. But
Fair enough.
maybe get some.
Carry
Maybe.
on.
Yeah, right. So, where was I with the whole thing? Let's see.
Environment on a budget.
Environment on a budget. That's right.
Removing the drivers.
I just thought that was a great trick, like something simple that you can do that will give you a lot more control over VPD. Like I was wondering if maybe you had any more tips, tricks like that for people out there looking to hit better VPD numbers, but on a budget. They don't have, I don't know, $400 to drop on. Let's say,
I've done some pretty creative shit over the years. One
Okay.
thing that you can do that's actually really cheap, actually. I just thought about this. I don't know why I didn't mention it before. Most of the time, you people have their tent in a spare bedroom or maybe the basement or the attic, depending on people's situations, right? And you might have air conditioning somewhere else in the house, downstairs, upstairs, whatever. If you're creative enough, you can get some ducting and run an intake. Most of the time when you buy ductwork, it's 25 feet. You can run some ductwork and get that cold air and bring it into your grow room, which will help tremendously. Um, I've seen people do crazy shit, like basically like bring air from their basement, which is cold most of the time. Generally speaking, this is like that's why the term's generally. Your basement's set under 70 degrees, and that's cold air. I mean, right now it's like fucking 80 something, and it's still 9:30 at night in Massachusetts, and it's hot and muggy. And
Yeah.
if you can, if you can get cold air and bring it in, it's gonna help you. It's tough. I mean, try to get that air, the hot air out. The drivers themselves create a lot of heat. If you can get those, I mean, you can extend the wiring on a driver 25, 50 feet if you had to. And it's really not hard to remove. I think people get intimidated by it, but guys, there's only two main wires going to a board most of the time. I've seen four in some cases, but either way, it's just doubling it up. It's real easy and to do. And I'm not gonna, you can't hold me to this, but generally speaking, if you go to extend this wire and you mismatch the two wires and don't connect it right, the light just won't power on. So it's really hard to fuck it up.
That's actually, I don't want to go out there and tell you guys to start playing around with electricity. But when I had an electrician at the house, he did tell me, like, yeah, it's really not as scary as some people make it out to be. Like, if you mismatch the wires, a lot of times all that'll happen is whatever you're fucking with won't power on. It's as bad as it gets.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would rather rewire your whole house than install a fucking bathroom sink. I hate plumbing. There's just too many variables. Like, something stupid can go wrong. Like, with electricity, it's just linear for me, man. It's just right there.
Yeah.
It's so easy, and it's just I'm more comfortable with it. So everybody has their niche. But anyway, if you can figure out how to, and there's lots of videos on YouTube, and of course you need help hit me up. That's what I'm here for. It's
For
really easy
sure.
to remotely mount your drivers, and that's probably the easiest thing that somebody can do. Now, again, the bar fixtures, it's a lot harder. I've seen some of them that have the capability of removing the drivers. Depending on how good you are with, wiring and soldering, all of them can be removed, if you're good enough. But generally speaking, the bar fixtures don't have removable drivers. I've seen a few that do, but
No, I
uh,
think I know mine does. It's one of the newer Mars Hydro ones.
yeah, I've
Um,
seen the ones with like the blades that like clip in, like literally the blades making connection with shit. So
Gotcha.
it's
Though
not as
even
easy.
I do find with the bar style LEDs, a lot of time I'm worried about the temps being too low.
Yeah,
So I am not removing any drivers in the
no,
tents that have that style fixture.
no,
It's
no.
funny.
Bar fixtures run a lot cooler. That's one of the benefits to them, which allows you to get them closer to the canopy. And I mean, obviously, the bar fixtures came out of necessity from the large grow ops that needed to increase space, and that's what
Yeah.
vertical fucking racks because they can take
Right.
space of every square inch possible. But yeah,
Now,
I'm a big fan of bar lights. They're just I wish the price would come down a little bit on them because essentially they're really there's nothing much more different from them than a quantum board except for just
no.
the layout of the diodes. And I feel like because of that, the premium on the markup is a little higher than I'd like to see.
I'll agree with that. Like I'm talking about VPD on a budget. Like that's basically there's an idea for you out there is use your lights as a heater essentially. Like if you can, like it's not going to get you in the winter. Listen, if you guys are out there in Canada in the winter time, it's not going to raise your temps up to where they need to be. But um, just for a couple degrees difference, use your lights to provide a little heat. Use your plants to provide the humidity a lot of times. Um, my tent, the way it works, like the lights beaming down on the moist soil, the plants transpiring. So you're creating heat and humidity in like 90% of the time. I'm just worried about exhausting heat and humidity from my tent. So it's like I'm always worried about lowering heat, lowering humidity. So like I know what to predict, but you guys got to just learn your own environments. Learn what works for you.
Yep.
And
I mean, another
player
cheap tip: humidifiers are expensive. Dehumidifiers are expensive, and they consume a lot of power. If you can run a secondary exhaust fan, just based on humidity, because I know everybody like has those AC Infinities. Um, so sometimes maybe even a second one can help, especially
okay.
down below. Um, power like, and I recommend passive intakes for 99% of the situation because I feel like it's just overkill. You don't need a powered intake. Like even those boxes I set up with the filters, I don't put fans in them. The negative pressure created from the exhaust fan creates enough current for the air to flow through the filter to get into the room. But if you had humidity problems and you didn't want to buy a dehumidifier, active intake can help with that.
Active intake. Now, and I believe we've talked about it before. You don't even have to go active intake route too. You can just increase the size of the hole that air is coming through passively
Yep.
in your
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
Bring in more air at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'll help
Absolutely.
control your humidity. Now, another just simple trick, if you're having issues with humidity, don't have a humidifier, you gotta defoliate. I don't care
Yep.
what phase of growth you're in. I don't care, it typically if you take a few leaves at a time, it doesn't matter where you're at as long as they're not seedlings, and they only have 2 leaves to begin with.
Yeah.
Defoliating is not going to hurt them that much.
No. No, and it's going to benefit you, give you more airflow, less microclimates, within your zone. and definitely help with your humidity problem. And if most people don't know this or realize it, but your humidity spikes rapidly at night, so that's something to keep an eye on. That's how you can end up with bud rot and powdery mildew.
Yeah, yeah. See,
The those large spikes is what's going to get you. The
nighttime
20,
is tricky.
yeah, the
Nighttime is
20,
tricky.
20, 30-degree spikes, and then the humidity, 20, 30% spikes. That's what's going to get you every fucking time.
Now we
Unless
had BG was our guest tonight. Obviously, we miss her dearly. So we're finding our way without her. But we did have a little plan to talk to her about this exact issue. On her IG, I saw yesterday she had a little bit of bud rot in a
it happened to me
recent
last year.
harvest. Man,
It happens to every fucking buddy. Like if
no,
I always tell people like, oh, this happened to me. This hasn't happened to me. I hear people all the time. That's never happened to me. You haven't been fucking growing long enough because it's gonna like pest problems. You're gonna run into bud rot. You're gonna run into powdery mildew. You're gonna run into. It's just the fucking name of the game. Um, it happens sometimes. I mean, shit. I told you I had to cut down a couple of plants last year in the greenhouse. I had bud rot and powdery mildew. Had them fucking both. The 1-2 combo. Fucking uppercut right to my jaw. So
man,
yeah,
right?
yep. Yeah, it sucks. There's a couple of things you can do. I think I had mentioned it to because it was shout out to I think it was I could be wrong. I want to say it was Charles Budkowski. Also had some. If it wasn't you, Charles, sorry for for telling it was you. But it was somebody in the Discord that had some bud rot. No, PM powdery mildew, and I suggested you can take a shot of like 3% hydrogen peroxide, throw that into a liter spray bottle with warm water and spray away, and then triple it to clean the room. Yeah.
Great tip.
Oh, yeah.
Great tip.
Y-
You know,
I've seen people use dairy products too, for like the lactic acid, something in there. Um, works.
hmm.
I've never done it. But, heard of people using, I think, powdered milk. So yeah,
All right, that's news to me. I don't know nothing about that. I
yeah,
think your best tip is to try to control your environment the best you can and not get to that point, obviously, but like
yeah. I
um
think in her case, it was two buds that were like touching um, in the grow room.
mm,
Yeah, so
now
yeah.
and I don't want to again, the point is for you guys to be very mindful of your environment. That's one of really where like the wheat separated from the chaff, like the cream rises to the top, and that's the great dividing line is like how good of an environment you can keep for your plants. It's tough. It really is. And like that, if you're not paying attention to environment, your plants are going to suffer. It's just one of those things, you know. It's easy to let it slip away from you too. Us tent pirates out
Look,
there, it's the struggle, We don't have like Quest dehumidifiers in the room. We don't have. It's really like so. Doing it on a budget is a struggle, and like now, it's for me. It's just about like a seasonal. I adapt to my lung room, and it's
you
all
have
about.
it down like you when you were running me by like yeah this is what I do in this and like there's my dehumidifier, it doesn't even need to run right now, like you had a grasp on your environment and you knew exactly what you needed to do. Like we saw that you had your shit drying in the basement, boom, like there's my portable air conditioner, that's what it's doing. Like you have to know what you're working with and make the most out of the
Yes.
situation. Nothing's gonna be fucking perfect at the end of the day. So like I went and checked on my dry today, and the humidity was down a little bit. So like, yeah, like it can't be perfect every fucking time. Like the goal is to try to make it perfect. Like I know I
Yeah.
preach this 60-60 thing, and fucking I'm all over that shit, but that's hard for a lot of people
It's
to achieve,
hard.
and I
Yeah.
get that. And at the end of the day, as long as you're under 70 degrees, Like you start going above that, you're really gonna have problems. I say 60 because like that's optimal. That's like ideal. But like, look, it's ideal
Agreed.
to have $1 million in the bank. I don't fucking have that. So like, you get, you
I
got to
like that.
work. You got to work with what you got. So
I
yeah,
know. Yeah,
as
you're
long-
you're you're
I see
totally right, dude.
people get stressed out about it, and I just like there was somebody in the chat just not too long ago in Discord. They were like, "Oh, I'm really nervous after hearing that drawing episode about." I'm like, dude, don't be nervous. Just like know what you got to work with, and like do your research. Just like I'm
For
sure
real.
you can
And
make it work somehow. You'll
I
figure it
think
out.
we did definitely scared the shit out of people a little bit with that
Well,
one. But the point is to like we're stressing ideal conditions, guys. Like, and I'll be real with you, I don't have ideal conditions ever. Okay, even as your captain, I just have what I have to work with. You know,
I'm
it's as
glad you said
simple as
that. I'm
that.
just gonna. I don't like to interrupt you, but I'm gonna this time because that shit you gave me from Alabrie wasn't dried in optimal conditions,
Nope,
right? Nope.
no
And it was
sir.
just dried recently, right? It was a recent harvest.
Recently, I got it as close as
Yeah.
I could, man, and it was
And it was
probably like 70, 72 degrees and 60% for
yeah,
10
it
days.
it was fire. So yeah, there you
There you
go. That's
go.
a perfect example, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary. Um,
And Apache helicopters and
yeah,
everything in between.
that's my jam. That's my jam. People ask me what I identify as. I always throw out an Apache helicopter. Fucking always it makes people fucking do
So
a double take.
yeah, actually, speaking of, I see in the chat we got Outcast Genetics, which I have one of his plants, the Sacred Watch, up in my drying tent in non-ideal conditions right now. I hate to break it to you, man, but no, they like I'm saying, it's I have what I have. It's as close as I can get it, and I know what I have to work with down in that basement. Like it's about learning your environment, becoming one with your lung room. You know,
Yep.
let it speak to you, tell you what it needs, and add, take away as you need, and as the seasons change throughout the year too. That's one of the big things. And it took honestly a couple years for I'm still learning, you know? Like I'm still learning every day about like the little intricacies here and there of
If you got
my
the
own environment.
captain, can you? I think somebody was asking to spell Alabrie. They're asking you if you spell it.
Alebrije is Alebrije. Alebrije.
Yep.
But I like again, I was saying it like Alebrije, like a jalapenos and vaginas.
Vaginas. That word sounds dirty every time you say it like that. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but Alebrije, great. You know, we've been smoking on his stuff, talking about it most of the night. Like
Good.
he's
I've been ripping.
really
That's what
doing.
I've been ripping out of the bong all night. Is that shit? So yeah, I'm
Yep,
enjoying it.
yep.
Gets me
And
high. I kind of feel like it has like at least for me, it's almost like a sativa effect. Um, it's not
maybe
like
that's some of the chem. I know it's definitely chem heavy. I know.
yeah. But yeah,
Well,
it's been a good daytime smoke. I just been like little puffs here and there at the end of the day.
cool.
But I wanted to puff it on the show so I could give him a shout out because I know he's a small
Yep.
time breeder, just trying to get his name out there, and I am
Hey,
100% endorsing his product. Shit's fire.
that's awesome, man. No, and I feel the same way. And to be honest, I can't. I see Outcast there in the chat. Like I want to give him the full green light. Like we've smoked it, we've tried it. It's 100% approved. Listen, man, I just give me like another couple days. You're drying in the tent right now. It's just I got to do it low and slow, man. Got to do her justice.
We're real.
Yep, I haven't tried it, but I'm excited as fuck for it because
I smelled it. It smelled really good, and it was
right.
fucking greasy.
Greasy, man. And she was the biggest plant of the bunch. Biggest plant of the bunch. And even compared to the Mephistos, the Night Owls, she was one of the biggest I've ever grown. And
That was the one to the left, right? In the front.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
super greasy. That shit, because I
Super
fucking
greasy,
grabbed.
man.
Yeah, I grabbed that. I saw it. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we're gonna just hold off. I know, I want to do it, man, because I know it's gonna be great, dude. I know it's gonna be good, but I gotta try it before I give you the full captain's stamp of approval, man. But the
yeah.
plant grew like a champ, and really all of them did. I gotta next show, all right, we'll talk about Big Green Guy a little bit, who you tried some of his stuff as well. I don't want to spoil the fun, but yeah, um I have to say I'm thoroughly impressed with the lesser known autoflower breeders that I trialed in my tent. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Captain's Auto Flower Breeder Social Experiment.
Yeah, we had to put them through their paces a little bit. Like I said, from the start, I believe there's people out there. There's tent pirates out there doing great work. They just need the notoriety and a little bit of, like the helping hands of the community to reach the next step of their careers, whatever they want to do out there.
I'm not like the type of guy who just sticks with one breeder. I like to try different things, and I think you're really foolish if you're holding yourself to just one breeder. There's so much fire to try out there. There's so much, so much. I really
There
encourage
is,
you to
guys.
go out and find somebody with a that you want to order beans from, and give
And
it a
listen,
shot.
as much as you and we preach quality genetics, right? Like that's one of our main messages, okay? But at the end of the day, to bring it all full circle, you can get fire from ILGM. You just got to pop the beans and find out, okay? Like there's so much good stuff out there, and you just really never know what you're going to find. Life is like a bag of beans from ILGM. You never know what you're going to get. But the point is, like, yeah, just keep popping those beans. You could find the next best thing. Like, that's one of the benefits of being a tent pirate. We're not beholden to these quality. We don't have to run cuts, right? There are benefits to running cuts, of course, but like, I enjoy the mystery, quite frankly, of popping a bean and not knowing what the hell's going to be in there. Doing a little bit of hunting to find your own gems, and it's always fun, man.
Fun. Yeah, definitely fun finding new shit. Like I pop beans all the time. It's fun popping new beans, and then you get to find that keeper. Like for instance, that Cindy 99 headband peanut butter breath. That was like my keeper cut of it. Like, and I ran the fucking shit out of it, for a while. So, same thing with like the Slurricane. I had that in my stable for a while. It's great to have these cuts, but at the end of the day, you don't find them without popping the beans. Now I know we can't clone autoflowers, but I do think something I need to look more into. I do think that there's a huge potential with tissue culture and cloning autoflowers. I think it's possible. From the people I talk to in the tissue culture business, they think it's possible as well. So it's my neighbor's dog. I don't know if you hear that, but yeah.
My
So
neighbor's dog.
my neighbor's dog. His name is Ranger. He's a puggle.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll see a lot of different stuff in as autoflowers continue to get more and more noticed in the community, a little bit more kind of just, I don't know, they got a little more notoriety behind them. I don't know if you guys saw, like, if you watch Jeremy on the Build a Soil YouTube, he is in the process of drying his first autoflowers, like first modern autoflowers. He did the infamous strawberry milk and cookies that I love. I think that's like the top of the charts for me as far as what I look for in an auto. And he's as real with it as I am. I mean, he's just like, I'm looking around my tent and like the frostiest flowers in here are coming from this autoflower from Daz. It's just like he was surprised, you could tell. But like
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I was not surprised at all to hear that.
Well, like
Um
he just started getting into LEDs, so like not ripping on Jeremy at all. He's kind of like a dinosaur in the industry. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
he's just getting into like the newer gear, like LEDs, autoflowers. So that group of growers, all of them ripped on autoflowers. You know what I mean? So
well,
yeah,
so you're saying they're the same guys that ripped on LEDs and still continue to
no,
probably too?
no, like, see, he's a believer now. Like, he's using LEDs, and now he's a believer in autoflowers. But yeah, like the same group of people that like will tell you can't grow good weed with LEDs, they're same exact guys that tell you no, like you can't. Autoflowers suck. You can't get high from an autoflower. So like
Yeah.
same
Oh,
fucking people, 100%. Because think about it, like do you know any auto growers that use HPS? Like very few.
no. No, it's I mean,
Anybody's using an HPS, it's out of necessity because of the introductory cost is so fucking cheap. Um, you can get 1,000 water for like 150, $200, in certain places. So,
well,
yeah. And look at this is I want to just make one thing clear. You can grow fire with HPS. It's not efficient, and they create hotspots but like there's a look. Ran into plenty of them, friends of friends, like, oh, what are we smoking on? I remember one day I had some 24 karat from Mephisto, and I told him it's 24 karat. He's like, oh, sounds good, and I'm like, oh, it's an auto. He's like, fuck you. I'm like, no, dude, that's an auto flower smoking right there, and he didn't believe me.
well,
I had to like, I had to like convince him. I'm like, no, dude, that's an auto, and it was grown with LEDs. And fucking then his mind was blown. You know, there are still a large group of people that will tell you, all right, auto flowers suck, and you can't grow good weed with LEDs. And
no.
one of
Wow.
them, one of them is my brother. I have a younger brother. I'm not gonna like say his name, but yeah, he's still like he's old school. Is his mentality? You know, fuck LEDs, fuck autoflowers. So
Well, I think they're missing out. If anyone's got that mentality, like you're really doing yourself a disservice by not
no,
trying the new stuff, really.
yeah, I mean,
It's
with that being said, like autos aren't as far along as photos. Anybody that's grown both will generally tell you that. Like, you know, in most
no, no.
cases, they're a step above, at least in the terpenes. But you can still get fire from autoflowers. I mean, shit, this fucking shit I'm smoking on tonight is fire, man. It gets me ripped. The taste it stays with you,
Yeah,
and
Chemmy,
the
dude, that old
buds
school.
were really nice and dense. A lot of autoflowers tend to be a little leafy, in my opinion. This wasn't one of them. Like the bud structure on it was really nice. So yeah, fucking shout out to autoflowers. I
Yeah.
know Monster doesn't grow them, but I actually am, thanks to the captain. Captain, it slipped my mind. What were those that you handed me?
That was a pack of the Rock Bud, um, like mix pack. It's just
Yep.
like mystery
Yes.
bag.
So yeah,
But you're gonna love that, man. Rock Bud's the shit.
they would just. I checked the coffee filter this morning. Tails had just started to crack, so they should be ready
Ooh,
to
I
plant
love it.
tomorrow. Yeah,
You hear that, guys? Monster's growing some autos. I know
yeah.
that's been
And,
you
as an
guys been wanting
experiment,
that.
this is an experiment. I'm actually gonna put one of them outside right away. I want to see if I can get it to finish. I know I got like a solid 2 months easily. Some probably closer to three. I mean, I've pushed some stuff to late October, so I want to see if I can get it to finish and how it will do. And then it'll be pretty cool because I'll also be growing a couple of them indoors, so we get to see the comparison between the two. And if it finishes, I can personally guarantee you outdoor one will taste way better. Just always does. Something about that
Yeah,
outdoor.
there's
Um,
something about it. Now,
but
someone in the chat mentioned, like if there's any dinosaurs out there who are interested, who hear our chat, and they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should try some autos. You can grow them under 1212.
you can,
They'll
and I have
flower.
done that. My experience is they take a long time to finish. Like a real long time, like over 100
Okay.
days type of thing. At least that was I've only done it once. I grew a Jammy Dodgers in 1212, and it grew nice. Like I got a decent yield off it. Everything was great.
Yeah.
Tasted fine. It just
Like,
took a long time to finish.
you can grow them right alongside photos, like, and that's kind of one of the beauties of them is like you can flower them in a veg tent with your photos, and you
That's what I
can just as
recommend.
well flower them in a flowering tent with your photos.
Yeah.
If you follow Jeremy on Build a Soil, again, that was one of his experiments with the autos. Was he did a couple that he did in under 1212 from birth.
I wasn't following. That was cool.
Yeah. So same strain, the strawberry milk and cookies. And it was interesting to see, like it was noticed that like the one that was under 20 and 4, that light cycle did way better. Actually stretched less. Okay. You would think maybe not, but it's just that counterintuitiveness of plants. The plant that got less light stretched more. You know what I mean?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you're a plant person, I guess it would. But like, that's kind of what happened. Like he got a little lankier plants with the 1212, not as dense, not as many flower sites, and it took I guess 2 weeks longer for it to actually ripen under that.
No shit. So he had similar results as I did. Okay, so that's cool.
Similar
Yeah.
results, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
it makes sense. Yep. So yeah, if you're gonna do it in 1212, expect it to take a little bit longer. And yeah, I would say it was a little bit lankier. You're probably right. So yeah, cool.
All right. I got you, Mad Hatter. Thank you. I appreciate you out there, man.
Yeah. Mad Hatter
we're gonna
ones and twos.
Mad Hatter for the rescue. So we're gonna kind of get this show wrapped up, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here. Get going for the week. Well, maybe you'll see us like in a few days. Maybe you'll see one of us, both of us streaming just to get our like Twitch numbers up. I don't need to explain this to you guys. It's kind of it's a weird thing, but yeah, anyway, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. We're sorry that the Barely Growing guest host didn't quite work out the way we thought it would, but the show must go on, guys. We want to let you know we have a Discord. Come join us. Join the conversation. It's really fun. A lot of good people helping people grow plants. People helping people grow plants. It's just it's what we do, and it's a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. So check us out. You can always ask either myself or Monsta for the link or G3. But yeah, do a little bit of research on your own. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. It should be out there for you to click on. It's not that hard to find. We want you to find it and click on it. And please support us if you can in any way possible. We do this show as a passion project. We love doing it. We need your help. So find our Patreon page, find our merch store, both to help us tremendously. Also, another thing that you can do is anytime you shop on Amazon, go click on our affiliate link first. Before you buy whatever you're buying, I don't care what the hell it is, you weirdos. These double-ended dildos that are shaped, you don't even want to know. But just click on our link first, and it helps us a lot. And if you don't have the financial means to help us, guys, we understand. You can also give us a little bit of your time, okay? You can help us if you have any talent and anything you're good at, like belly dancing or no, anything like graphic design, maybe, or something like we've been getting a lot of meme artists up in our Discord, man. We love that stuff.
I mean, look,
We
we
love that.
appreciate everybody's memes, but there's one guy in particular who stands out, and everybody knows he's the fucking meme god. It's Brack to the Future. Kid's a fucking whiz. Shout out to Brack
Yeah,
to the Future.
he's been
Hell of a
killing it.
super cool friggin' screen name too. I love it. He's been helping out with some other stuff on the side as well for us, so we appreciate him. We appreciate all you guys. We couldn't, and wouldn't do it without you. So, yeah. And
Right.
back to the Amazon affiliate thing, because I don't think you kind of fully explained it. If you want to buy something on Amazon, it doesn't matter if it's on the products we use page on our website. If you just happen to click on a random link on that page and then continue to do your shopping, no matter what you buy, we get a small commission from that, which just helps the show.
Good point.
Stupid things like that. That's all. So we appreciate your support. Leave us a review on your favorite platform. Tell people.
There you go.
Like and subscribe to our show. That you don't have to support the Patreon. You don't have to buy merch. We're still gonna do the show for free. Believe
That's
me.
right.
So,
and even if you got no money and you got no talent and you got no time either to like, I'm sure you could tell a friend or leave a review on Apple Podcasts for us.
shout
Right?
from the rooftops. We've had
Right.
people do that. So, from their hometown, and I think it was Hanover, Pennsylvania, or somebody did that.
That's right.
That was fucking incredible.
He
I
said-
forget who it was, so I can't remember everybody.
it was
But we appreciate it.
JR Boys. JR Boys
Good
420.
memory, dude. You're right. It was him. Shout out to JR Boys 420.
He has that Pennsylvania accent. He said Hanover.
And dude, you were saying, because you knew exactly where it was before it before he even said anything. Yeah. So also we shout out Brack to the Future. He's one of our newest Patreon supporters as well. Shout out to Ruthless Autos. Shout out to Kyle Whitmore and Trico Rizel. That's a fucking cool name.
Trico Rizel. Yeah. Thank you.
And-
So his name's actually JR Farmer Boys 420. Sorry,
Okay.
he's the guy shouting from
And-
the rooftops.
And one last shout out, Reverend Pirate Frog. He's really active in the Discord. We're like-minded guys. We're both. Well, I'm a former machinist. He runs his own machine shop down in Cali. Shout out to Reverend Pirate Frog, one of the latest Patreon supporters. So yeah, we love you guys. Thanks for your support.
Thanks, and thank you again to Mad Hatter, working magic behind the scenes, and thank you to Barely Growing, who joined us for as long as she could. It was beautiful while it lasted. But I mean, I don't know. But I mean, me and you wouldn't last nearly as long. No, I don't want to make that joke. I don't want to make that joke. We lasted way longer than we probably would have. We lasted way longer than Mr. Canuck would. All right, guys. We love you. We love all you. We'll talk to you in a few days, okay?
Peace.
Over and out.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Peace.
Keep in touch with yourself.